Okay, welcome back to another Road to Las Vegas solve. I'm a bit short for time, so this might be a bit of a speed run, but we had round 6 yesterday, I think. And essentially it's this dots game where we have a board, we connect lines, and if you make a full square, you capture that. Whoever drew the last line gets to shade it in, and we calculate points at the end. So I quickly want to show my new case setup. So if I press Control-Shift-I, I've really sped up OA Robot, so my lambdas are in instantly. Also, what's happened there is a case backup sheet has been inserted, which is a direct copy of this. And when I now do my kind of case questions lambda, so case questions 1 to 2, it gives me all the info from the questions. Previously, where I'd have helper columns out here where I'd do workings, it would pull those through too. So it was difficult to kind of eliminate that when I needed to collate all the question info. So that's better. And if I do a data table, I'll keep those there actually, I've got that set up automatically so I can enter a level number. If a level was ever called level A, B, C, it would still work and pull out all of the right things. And yeah, it doesn't pull the helper columns across here, so I only get the info. That's pulling from the case backup. And it also adds a case working file here, so it leaves the original file intact and gives me a full kind of saved as case backup. So I have 2 copies of everything, so hopefully nothing can go wrong. And then the final thing is, if I have some workings down here and I press Control-Shift-E, it will copy the workings to whatever level I want. So it's changed all of the question numbers, the question info, and then I can kind of get my answer, and I can automatically fill in my data table with Control-Shift-A. So it fills the data table in and copies them all ready to be transported into the platform. So it's a huge time saver. And yeah, I'm loving OA Robot efficiencies like that. Anyway, let's get to it. So question 1, how many squares are there? So we essentially have 4 by 3, but you need to minus 1 off of each to get the squares in the middle. So that's going to be this minus 1 times this minus 1. And let's just get my brackets right. Question 2 is counting the lines. So this is a little tricky to think about, but if you think of just the horizontal lines, you have 4 dots, so 3 lines, and we have that 3 times because we have 3 rows of it. And then we can do the same thing vertically. So it's essentially the 7 lots of this minus 1 plus 3 lots of this minus 1. And then we can do the first bonus question, which is how many lines are in a 10 by 10 grid. So I'm going to copy exact formula. That's another new robot command. So it's the exact formula comes out. And then I'm going to put a 10 here. So there's 180 lines, but we need to eliminate the inner 4 by 4 section. So let's see how many are in a 4 by 4, and that is 24. But we have to think about the 4 by 4. If we just look at the board here, those 4 by 4 are going to have connections going out of them as well. So there's going to be 16 lines that go out that are also missing. So we have equals 180 minus that 24 minus 16, so it's 140. Okay, and before we move on to level 3, I'm going to do these other 2 bonuses because these help us set up the board, which might help later. So how many squares on the game board tab have only 1 adjacent line filled in? So that's something like this. There's only 1 line surrounding that square. So first of all, let's just set this up. I don't like the objects in here, so I'm going to go to special, select all objects and just delete them. We still have dots underneath, so that's fine. I'm going to change this to R, this to B, and then copy, Control-Shift-O, and paste values over similar background colors. Another robot command that's super useful, so I get the letters in the colors. And then I'm going to call this map, so that's kind of my setup of the map. And then I'm also going to copy this sheet out to label what everything is. These are squares where we can enter, we can capture. Let's just center it all up. Then these are horizontal lines, so I'm just going to put an H there. And then these are vertical lines. So this is a bit tedious, but once I've done it once, I can just copy it down. So those are vertical lines. So let's copy all of that a couple of times here. There we go, and we just want 1 line at the end. And there you go, that's all of our types. So let's just make this a bit neater, like so, and we can flatten it. So that's a lambda that gives me the cell address and what's in the cells. So here's everything that's in the cells and the cell address. I can also say flatten our original map, and let's just copy that as values and remove the cell addresses because I don't want those twice. So we essentially have address, type, and then original. So the bonus is asking how many squares on the game board have one adjacent line filled in. Is it at least one? Only one. So let's say filter our addresses where this is a square. I need to put an equals. And then I want my arrows. So let's say 2 row of arrows. And again, I'll use quite a lot of lambdas here, but I have a full video on those. And then let's say move on map here with these 4 arrows. That will give me the cells that you'd move to. And then I want address to contents of that on the map. I could also do an XLOOKUP on here to the original, but either way works. So that's our setup. And we essentially want to know if this is 0, there's basically no lines connected. So let's say equals count if this says 0. So we want to look for where that equals 3, i.e. there's one line filled in. So let's say equals 3, and let's wrap it in a minus minus. And the sum of those will be how many have one connection, so it's 27. And the next bonus is very similar, how many dots have at least one red line attached to them. So we can change our filter here to filter for where it's a dot. And then for here, that's exactly the same. So if we just look at the game board, we're looking at a dot. We want to go 4 directions out to the sides and check if there's a red line there, at least one red line. So let's say count if that is a red, and the red is here. So count if it's red, and we want to know if that is above 0. So the sum of that will be our answer. We just need to drag everything down and a bit further because we have more cells that are dots. So if we drag that down, our sum is now 59. Okay, level 3 is getting the average row and column number of where a given line can go. So if you think of this grid, everything is spaced 2 apart. So the row number of a line is essentially the row over 2. So this is row 5. So if these dots are called row 1, row 2, this will be row 2.5. So it's 5 divided by 2, and the column works the same. So I can just say equals row num of that over 2 and semicolon and the column number of that over 2. Okay, question 4, we're taking a square and looking at how many lines are around it. Let's do a model for this one. So let's say, let's grab our arrows, and let's say move on map from this cell. So this is where a square is with these 4 arrows. That's going to give us the positions, and then let's say address the contents of that on our map to find out what's there. And then we need red and blue collated. So let's say count if that says these things, and then I can do equals 1 and red and 1 and blue. That's our answer. Let's use our new macro to paste them into here. Okay, level 5, now we're drawing a line. If it's a vertical line, we need to look at the 2 squares either side of it. If it's a horizontal line, we need to look above and below. So let's build off of what we already have here, level 5. So we're in F5. So let's say, let's first pull out whether it's vertical or horizontal. So let's say address to contents of this F5 on this map here. That gives us the type. So it's a vertical line. So I'm going to say if that equals a V, then we need to look either side of it. Otherwise, we need to look there. And then let's say move on map. So we get the addresses move on map from our start to with those arrows. So there's our 2 cells we need to check. So this is what we had before, so I'm just going to move it to that cell, and I'm going to copy exact formula and paste it here. I'm going to move it to that cell. So there's all of our things, and we also need to add in the new line that we've drawn, which is the left of this. And then we can change our COUNTIF to just be extended to this range, and we should get the same answer as before. So that's level 5. Okay, on to level 6. We're drawing a load of lines and then just checking how many squares are filled in at the end. So let's build off what we had for level 6. For this one, I'm actually going to move all of this stuff to the side, move this down so I can I just want to create the end grid and then count how many squares are there. First of all, let's say text split this on a semicolon, so we get all of our things. And then let's say equals address of cells map. That just gives me the address of everything in the map, so I need to give myself a bit more room. So here's all the addresses of our map. I want to say if exists those addresses in here, then a line is filled in, right? So I can say x, and I need to put a bracket here. And if it's not in that list, I just want what's on the map anyway, because we're starting from the map board. So this is our finished game board. And then I can actually delete this stuff out, I don't really need it. Basically, I just want to gather all of the possible squares. So let's say filter these cell addresses where this equals a square, and then equals 2 row of arrows. Maybe I should have kept my arrows. And I want to say address the contents of move on map from this cell with these arrows, and I want to check what's in this finished map, like so. So that is kind of the lines around us, and if a square is filled in, there'll be no zeros here. So I can say count if that says 0 and that equals 0. I want no blank squares, no blank lines means we have a square. Hopefully that makes sense. I am rushing through this. So the sum is 3. The answer actually wants the row number of where it's true, so I can say that times row number of this. And I need a bracket because it's a lambda. So the sum of this is our answer, which is 31. So let's do my data table manually here. Sum of this and Alt DT, example 6. There we go. And I just realised I missed a bonus for question 5, so let's do that before going on to level 7. So bonus 5, what is the sum of the game numbers where at the end of the turn the player drawing the line has fewer lines surround the adjacent squares than the opponent? So in level 5, I just want to know, so who are we playing? That's this guy. So I'm going to say if that equals red, then is this less than the blue lines? And then let's copy exact formula. And then if that is blue, then do the other way around. Is the blue number less than that? So I want or that. So if that's true, I want the game number. So let's just say if that, do that. And then if I data table that, it should just be the sum of these things, I hope. 443. So 443. This is messy and rushed, but I am very short of time. Okay, level 7, we're playing a full game from a blank board. Let's just set it up completely new. So I basically want to do text split this on semicolon. So that's our cell. And then I want the player. So it starts with the red player. And then I want the orientation. So that is address the contents of that on this map here. And then if it's vertical, I want to check the cells either side. So let's grab my arrows out here, arrows. So I want to say if that is vertical, then I want to check either side. Otherwise, I want to check above and below. So that's what I want to check. Let's do address, move on map. Move on map from this cell with those arrows. And then I want to say equals move on map again from this cell with these arrows. So that's the 4 that I would move from here. So let's just explain this quickly. I'm picking a line, and then if it's vertical, like this one here, let's zoom in a bit, then because it's vertical, I'm checking each side. I'm grabbing those cells, that is here, and then I am saying from these cells go up, down, left, right, and I just want to see what the addresses are there. And if those addresses exist up here, or at least 3 of them do, because in one of them I'm already drawing the line, right? If I was in this square, I've already drawn this line, so I need to check if these 3 exist previously above us in the list. And if they do, then we captured a square. So I'm going to say exists those things in here, and I'm going to lock just the first part of that so it drags down with us. That's going to be a true or false, so obviously none of them are there. So let's wrap that in a minus minus, that will give us zeros and ones. And then I want the sum of those. And if that is above 3, if that equals 3 even, so let's say that equals 3, then we have filled in that square. So let's do that. That's kind of our check if we filled in a square. But I want to do it across this whole array. At the minute I've only done on O11. So let's say map this lambda a, and then sum of exists a in there. That should do it for the whole array then. And I can change this to be this array part here. So hopefully that makes sense. That was a bit of a quick explanation. Let's 2-row it. So that's going to give me a 1 each time we fill in a square. Now let's make a little player table. Red, blue, and red goes to blue, blue goes to red. I like to set up players like this because I can add 3, 4, 5, or 100 players if I like. I'm going to say if or, so if we've filled in a square, the player goes again, so it's this. Otherwise, we XLOOKUP this in here and give us this, so we swap the player. And then this is going to be the same, and then this should be the same, and this should be the same. And then you'll see we get some 1s here where we start to fill in some squares. So how many squares did they capture? I'm going to say repeat the player this many times. That's how many squares they captured. So if I drag that down, or actually the sum of those. So if they filled in 1 square, I want 1 R. If they filled in 2 squares, I want 2 Rs, and so on. So down here, we've filled in 2 Rs. And then I can say concatenate this stuff. That will give us the string, if you like. And I basically want red, blue, and I can say equals count occurrences of these in here. But I'm going to actually put that into the formula, like so. There we go, and then I can say equals this, and this, and this, and this. And that should be our answer. Control-Shift-A. It's already copied for me. So that's level 7. And then for the final bonus, we want red, blue, and green, just for the example. So red, blue, and green. So if the blue player finishes, they go to green. And when the green player finishes, it goes back to red. And let's just change our XLOOKUP to capture those. So now we can switch all the players. And I want red, blue, green. So let's extend our count to there. And I think we should need to add on the green player's score, right? That and that's. So that should be the answer to the bonus. There we go, yeah. I don't know why I perform so crap live, because I definitely have the lambdas and the skills to complete one of these cases. I feel like one day I'm going to be like top 5, but the best I've done is 7th. But yeah, terrible round. In the real thing, I looked at these examples, saw this line on F5, came to the board, went to F5, and was like, wait, there is not a line in F5. And then I scrolled down and saw F5 again here. So I thought, I didn't realise we were drawing the lines here. I thought we were just checking. So I assumed there was a mistake in the case. And I drew a red line there, which breaks a lot of the solve. Anyway, that's it. See you next time.